Hello, my loves. This is Heidi Raquel with your weekly oracle reading for December 7 to 13. I am short on time today, so I'm going to do this as fast as I can. And I just jotted down a couple notes here. So for December, we have the Creator, we have the Mentor already pulled. If you did not see that there was a second December oracle card that came through after I shut down the video, go back and watch that. There's a second one a couple frames later. So we have the sense of student-teacher energy. Definitely feeling this in my own life. I've already found 2 new teachers. It's the energy of when the student is ready, the teacher appears. You might not know what it is. You might not know where it's coming from. You might not know what avenue it is. But I've already got 2 new ones, and I had been kind of searching around for a little while and, you know, kind of hedging my bets, I guess. Like, is that the right person? But it didn't feel like the time was right. And I think it's because we were stuck in that retrograde energy. So it wasn't feeling like it was the time. This last week, holy cow. I just keep getting the image of these giant waves coming and cresting and then boom, falling down. So we had been kind of riding this wave that felt like this fresh new energy was finally coming in. The retrograde was over. We were finally moving forward, and then eclipse season came in. And it's almost like, you know, Mother Earth is teaching us to surf right now. And it's like she's saying, you know, even when things are riding high and it feels like you're getting a sense of normalcy or a sense of yourself, or you're seeing things beyond what you were able to see before, all of a sudden, you know, don't be surprised if the energy just drops out the bottom of it and, like that wave, falls down back into the earth. It's like she wants us to, you know, move ahead, but not get egoic about it. It's like, okay, remember that I'm in charge. This is Mother Earth talking. And, you know, and that really intense, wild feminine that we've been having, but don't get too cocky thinking that, you know, you run the show. So that's kind of what I was feeling. Just in the last couple days, I felt this complete bottom drop. And so what I would suggest, because we are in eclipse season for the rest of the month, what I would suggest is, you know, feeling the wave, riding the wave, when you're inspired to do something new, when you're inspired to go here, when you're inspired to push in this new direction, go for it and use the energy when you have it. But when and if the energy feels like it drops out for you, just ride the wave. Don't tell a story about it and say, oh, well, you know, it's not time for me, or, oh, well, you know, I can't do this now, or, you know, all the stories that we can tell ourselves. Just let it be what it is. Know that the supportive energy will come back in, and just go with that. The other thing I have been talking about, and it's really interesting how it felt like it shifted this last week. So I've been talking about reveal energy. It feels like there's this big thing, and I don't even, like, it's so big that it feels like a massive political shakedown or something, like, or a takedown of the church or something. I don't know what, it feels huge. And just this last week, in the last couple days, I started feeling it die down. And I'm like, what is going on? Is it eclipse season? Is it that the reveal is going to come in small, little trickling in information? Is it going to be, you know, each of us kind of getting a bit more of our light and finding pieces of that and then sharing it with others? And it's going to be a big reveal in the mass of society waking up and seeing things differently. I don't know. It still feels like it's here and like it's going to come forward, but the form and the how seems to be fleeting. It's kind of like that crest waving. It's like it's here and then it disappears, and then it's here and it's disappear. It's very challenging to read and to see a common thread, you know, that goes all the way through. The other piece, I've used this term with a few friends this last week because it is just, it's kind of cracking me up. There's a sense of like Thelma and Louise energy going on where we're just going to get in the car and go. And I don't know, it feels like we've been cooped up so much that there's a part of us that's just going to say, okay, done. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not staying cooped up. I'm not going to stay separated from my family because of this, that, or the other thing. Like, we also have to live. We also have to have freedom and joy and light and all of those things. And when we're around other people, you know, it just stimulates all of that. So there's a little bit of rogue energy, like, we're not going to be taken down. We're not going to be kept down. You know, yes, you can be safe, but you also don't have to be so completely isolated. I mean, everyone has their own feelings about that, but, you know, there is that kind of rogue Thelma and Louise energy that's like, I've been held down for too long and I don't care anymore. I'm just going to go for it. And then this last piece, I was trying to explain this to my husband this weekend and wasn't doing a very good job, or he just wasn't getting it. So hopefully I can try to grab it here. But there's this piece around loving where you are, loving who you are. And it's almost like there's two worlds being created. And I think it's because we've been so isolated and we're in this kind of quarantine, not kind of, but we're in this quarantine energy for such a long time. My God, I mean, back in March, we thought it was just going to be a couple weeks, right? But it's almost like two worlds are being created. And there's the outside world, there's the political, there's the media, there's everything we're being told about it. And then there's the world that we're actually living in, which is in our own homes, with our own people, and the day-to-day stuff. And to me, those two feel like they're becoming further and further apart, or they're almost kind of starting to split. So it's like the reality of what's happening in my home is not congruent with what I'm hearing that's happening outside, or somehow it's separate. And what's happening for me in that energy is that I am dropping into this deep, beautiful, heartfelt gratitude of how much I love my people and how much I love my life on the day-to-day. And anyone who knows me knows that I kind of arc towards, you know, an energy of pessimism. And, you know, so that's not always my thing. So I'm taking note of it, and it's subtle, but it's there. And so I'm curious to hear if other people are having similar, you know, kind of vibes coming up. But it's like this deep gratitude, like tearful gratitude for the love and the joy that I do have on the day-to-day. Everything is not perfect. Everything still is, you know, messy and dirty and, you know, all the stuff. Like, nothing has changed in that regard, but it's this sense of deep gratitude for what I do have and the connections that I do have, even if I can't see my family at Christmas, you know, all these things. So anyways, I'm just as excited to see what card we get today as well. So in addition to the mentor and the creator, you know, and we have that. Initially I was saying it's like the creative mentor. And then my husband was like, or it could be the mentoring creative, or, you know, whatever. Like, you can put those two words together in any way, or see them as separate, you know, whatever. So let's see what we have for this week. The Pilgrim. Oh my God, this is hilarious. Is this going to be, there we go. Let me look it up. Is this going to be like the, yeah. It is. There's like, I was like, oh, this is kind of like the Thelma and Louise. There's the mountain, there's the eye, there's the prayer. It's like the discovery of new things and how we're doing them. All right, let's see. This is in the Selves chapter. Okay, the Wanderer, the Traveler, the Apprentice. Okay, there is that student-teacher energy right there. For the pilgrim, an outward journey is always an inward journey. Okay, this is exactly what I'm talking about. There's the external world and then there's the internal world, and they're different, and we have to listen to them in different ways. The archetypal wanderer seeks wisdom, experience, and meaning in the farthest reaches of the globe and the deepest regions of the spirit. Others will wonder when the pilgrim will settle down and claim a more conventional life, but the pilgrim knows that the heart belongs in motion. Where there is motion, there is freedom, expansion, and growth, right? So that's that Thelma and Louise energy that I was talking about, that rogue energy of like, we need freedom, expansion, and growth. and the heart belongs in motion. So even if you physically can't move, which I highly suggest you do as well, even if it's just your physical body out in nature, but we need that freedom, expansion, and growth. And that's that sense of, you know, that is that rogue energy that's just like, I'm going to go and do what I want to do because it's in the interest of my personal growth, and I cannot be held down. Responsibilities, social conventions, and logistics lull us to sleep, and soon the pilgrim becomes veiled in the slumber of the day-to-day. Yet when this archetype awakens, it rallies our sense of adventure and leads us out the door toward a new reality. So this is that energy. This whole quarantine energy is lulling us to sleep. It's like we're dying on the vine. We're forgetting who we are. And, you know, that's why like this creator energy and this internal growth is so important. Yet when this archetype awakens, it rallies our sense of adventure and leads us out the door toward a new reality. I think I already said that. When the pilgrim with the pilgrim at your side, you will never lack courage, nor do you need every amenity. That's the thing that I was saying. The every amenity piece is like, nothing needs to be different. Everything in your life can be exactly the same, but you're looking at it differently and becoming creative about it. Travel light, travel soon. Your spirit needs it. So I said to my husband, if we are staying home for Christmas, we have to at least go to the beach and spend some time out in nature and get the hell away from here, because with that sense of adventure and that longing, it's like we both are just like, we want to just like get in the car and go to New Mexico, like forget it. We need it. When light learns, grows, adapts, studies, so that's that student. When dark, aloof, non-committal, and flaky, which is like the energy that comes in from that slumber of the day-to-day when you get kind of bogged down. It says to go deeper, The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost, or Mamim by David White. Even in the stillness of meditation, the pilgrim feels the movement of the heart towards what it loves. Absolutely. It's one of the best things about meditation is dropping in and coming back to that center point that is you. We all have a deep longing to answer the call to get unstuck. What are the obstacles between you and the door? That could not be better. Okay, my dears, I love you. Namaste. Yeah, very busy day, so I gotta get going. Love you. Let me know how this resonates, and be well as we move into the adventure of this next week. Namaste.